If you are a Canadian incorporated business, here's what you need to know to actually start to physically prepare your T2 return. So the first item is, what are the documents that you need to work on your T2? Think about your financial statements. This will be a balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement. Then your bank statements might come in very handy, documentation about all the payroll for the year, invoices and expenses incurred during the year. Now, what's important to understand is that before you can get to the place where you can actually prepare your T2, you have to have your bookkeeping for the fiscal year completed. So complete the bookkeeping first, and when you're great and feeling good about the position where you are and the financials are set, then you can move on to actually preparing the T2, because you will need those statements to be incorporated into your T2. Now, a T2 is a jacket that houses all of the information within your tax return for the corporation, and it's very similar to the T1 for us as Canadian individuals. The names of the schedules within a T2 are a little bit different, but a Schedule 125, for example, is your balance sheet. A Schedule 100 is your income statement. We also need a Schedule 50, which is a schedule of all the shareholders that have a share in the corporation. We can have potentially assets that are owned by the corporation, and we'll need a Schedule 8, which lists them all out so we know exactly how much capital cost allowance we can claim. And then lastly, you might have a Schedule 7 to report your aggregate investment income, because you need to report all the different sources and types of income that the corporation earns so that the eligibility of certain credits and the right federal and provincial rates can be applied to your return. Now, lastly, the most important thing you need to know is, when is your T2 due? So it is within 6 months of your fiscal year end. So if we take, for example, a December 31st year end, you have until June 30th to file your T2 return. However, if you have a balance owing, if your taxable income is greater than $500,000, you have 3 months after your fiscal year end to make your payments. If you have taxable income below $500,000, you have 2 months following your fiscal year end to make your payments. Now, those are the starting points to get to filing on time for your T2 here in Canada.